Welcome back to the video, ladies and gentlemen. This is MrCentralDriver coming at you with a new one, and this is the Fiido Titan. And this is one very big bike. Now we're gonna bring in here with a camera, let's go over some of the specs and go over some of the components on here, and let's just see if it's worth it by the end of this video. We got CTS Adventure tires, 26 inches by 4 inches wide. We got plastic fenders, projector style headlight. The back of the light also doubles as a horn. The cables get nicely slotted into the frame. This is a torque sensor e-bike, and it's gonna be hidden behind that cover. Above that is where you charge the battery at. Front hydraulic suspension with 60 millimeters of travel with a lockout on the right-hand side. There are some bolt holes on the top tube if you wanna put a water bottle or a bag. Standard kickstand. It is adjustable with the screw in the back. The rack in the back, because it is not bolted onto the frame, it's welded. It holds an impressive 177 pounds. There are no keys for this bike, so to pull the battery out, you need to use the app or use the password on the display. The single battery, being 14.5 amp hours, will give you a total range of 84 miles. But on their website, you can get a triple battery setup, which will give you 248 miles of range, and it will go onto the back rack. 42 tooth chain ring up front with an 11 to 36 tooth in the rear. 9-speed shifter up front, 203 millimeter rotors, DY Island hydraulic brakes. These are how the brake levers look, and they feel really good. They also have a micro adjustment right here. Let me show you guys how I look sitting on the bike. I have the seat almost as low as it will go. This is like a perfect riding comfortable position for me. They say on the website people that are 5 foot up to 6'9" can ride this bike perfectly fine, and I can see that because it is a step through design, so you don't have to fling your leg all the way around, especially if you have cargo in the back. But keep in mind, this is still a very tall bike regardless if it has a step through design or not. You still have to lift your leg pretty high over, but it is nice once you get that and you can just slip right on the seat, and the seat holds up to 265 pounds of a rider. Next, let's show you guys the headlight and the brake light. So I turned off the lights. I got one light above me. And what I want to point out with the headlight, it is connected to the frame. It is not connected to the handlebars. So even when you turn the handlebars back and forth, the light will not follow. Just something to note. Now the headlight looks pretty good. It's not as wide as I thought it was gonna be, but when I do move the bike back, you can see that it does get a little tiny bit wider, and it just looks funky because it doesn't move with the handlebars, so just something you gotta get used to when riding at night. The brake light does function as a brake light if you do hit any of the brake levers up front, but I will say it is not as bright as I thought it was gonna be in the rear. The display, on the other hand, is gorgeous looking and bright. It also makes a beeping noise when it comes on. It always starts in the normal mode. Now, the buttons that are over here are the same as the buttons over here. There's just a quick access panel. The only thing different is you have a headlight button over here and you don't have it over here. Now, these up and down buttons will go through your mode. So right now we're in normal. You can go to sport, and then you can go into turbo. Then you have another setting, Turbo Plus, and that's probably what we're gonna be riding in today's video. Then you can go all the way back and it will go to zero mode, which means you have no electric assistance whatsoever, so this will not work, and that means you could pedal this bike like a normal bike if you want. The M button, if you push it, will bring you into your trip, your time, your odometer, top speed, average speed, and then if you hit it again, it will go back to the main menu. Now, if you don't wanna use that horn I showed you earlier, which is decent, it's not crazy loud, you do have a bell, and this is optional if you want to put it on or not. Hold on, let me try that again. Okay, that's a little better. Now I think we have went over everything on this bike. Sorry it took a while, but there was a lot to talk about. Now let's go onto the GoPro and let's take this thing for a spin, and I'll give you my final thoughts towards the end of the video. Now, if I haven't mentioned already, this is a 48 volt e-bike with a 750 watt motor in the back, and it says it has about 70 Newton meters of torque. But because this bike weighs around 84 pounds, it feels like it pulls pretty good. Right now, I'm in Turbo Plus mode, and I should be able to go up to 28 miles per hour out of this 750 watt 48 volt bike. And I'm seeing about 27 miles per hour on average. I haven't seen it hit 28 yet, but let me check my phone and see if that's accurate. Hold on. I need to reset this max speed. It says we did 33 miles per hour. There's no way. Let me reset that, hold on, all right. Let's go back. Let's try that one more time. All right, it's taking longer now because we're going against the wind really bad. So I'm only seeing like 24, maybe 25 right now. So I saw a max speed of 26 on here. And when I look at my phone, it still says we're doing 33 miles per hour on this bike. Is that right? If so, we're hauling ass. What the heck? All right, so I am in my designated speed test. We're gonna go all the way to the end of this road and we're gonna see how fast this bike is. Bikes on average on my channel hit about 27, 28. If it's faster than that, then we're hauling ass, but I haven't even seen 28 miles an hour on this bike on the display. So I'm just going to take it with a grain of salt that when we hit about 27, we're doing almost like 33. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. We're gonna use throttle only in this test, and I'll come back, and then we'll use a torque sensor. Here we go, 15, 16, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Woo, all right. So I want to say maybe we did, I'd say like 30-ish maybe. I couldn't really tell you on that because I'm not exactly sure if it's my phone that's off or it's this display that's off. And I don't want to keep resetting my phone because we're also doing a range test as well. But anyways, here we go onto the torque sensor. I'm gonna pedal the whole time. I'll go through the gears as well. Let's see how this feels. So 1, 2, 3. Oh wow, that was an easy bike to take off. Wait, which one do I push? Oh, it's this one. Oops, that's my bad. All right, there we go. I can definitely feel it shifting gears. It's not buttery smooth like some other e-bikes, but it definitely feels high quality. That definitely felt good. And wow, is this bike fun to pedal. No ghost pedaling there. I was connected to the bike at all times. Let me see how much I can pedal until I'm not ghost pedaling anymore. I'm still connected to the bike at 25 miles an hour. 26. Still connected. Oh yeah, this feels great. That's like a perfect gear ratio for this bike. That's fantastic. Because I don't like to give misinformation on this channel, I'm gonna hold my phone. We're gonna see the mile per hour in real time compared to this, and we're just gonna go. I'm gonna do it one-handed, something I don't really do on this channel. Hopefully nothing bad comes up, but I really wanna see if that speed's accurate or not. Because I don't think they rate this bike for 33 miles an hour. No, 28, 29. We're going uphill slightly too. 30. What? This has to be accurate then, because I'm going uphill now and we're doing 30. Dang, this is a pretty quick bike. One thing to note though, we already went down one battery bar. Doesn't look like we're gonna get that 80 something miles of range out of this single battery, but again, that is in the lowest mode. And that's also pedaling with that torque sensor. That torque sensor is really gonna help you get some exercise and get some good range out of this bike, but you're also gonna be using your own power to move the bike. So if you're new to the videos, I always come out here when it's nice and sunny at this dead end and just try to check out this bike out in the sun and just see how it looks. And it's pretty cool. It's like a silver metallic. I like the fact that it doesn't have too much going on. I like the white on the tires because as it's rolling, it gives it a little cool little effect. You know how people ride on their tires for their like Honda Civics or their modified cars and stuff like that. I kind of like that. It looks good when it's rotating. And I like the fact that this is just a simple logo right here. They do have a QR code right down here. And then they have electric bike model M25. Not sure what that's about. And then they have the Fiido thing right here. And that's cool because that's like a chrome looking sticker. And some things I didn't mention yet is that first off, these grips feel great. They lock in place. These are some of the best grips I've felt, and they feel simple and good. Like they feel like they're like really gripping my hands. And I like this little plastic cover right here. Now it's on there really good, but that's where you put your bolts to your head stem, and then you put the one in the middle. And I like the fact that this just hides everything in there. It's such a clean setup. And I was putting my hand on this screen right here because the screen feels like it's disconnected, and it feels like you might be able to move it or slide it around, and you can see it moving ever so slightly, but you can't. But it is hot though. I can feel the back of it. It's burning up, but haven't had any issues with it. It's just something I wanted to mention. But what a gorgeous looking bike, and a great bike if you are someone that wants to pedal and not be super lazy and just use the throttle all the time, like I'm probably gonna do in the rest of this video. Now here's where it gets interesting. I'm very curious to see how it's gonna go up this hill with only having 70 Newton meters of torque out of this 48 volt e-bike. So I'm just gonna try it out. We're gonna not pedal at all. We're gonna use a throttle, then I'll come back and do it and we'll pedal. But here we go, 1, 2, 3, throttle only, turbo plus mode. It's going. It made it. You gotta give it props for making it, but I feel like it barely made that. Here's where I think the bike will shine. Because you have a torque sensor, I'm gonna put my own energy into the bike, and we're just gonna see how it works. And let's see if it goes up faster than using the throttle. Here we go, I'm gonna start in gear 2. 1, 2, 3. I might have to go up as well. Here we go, click it in the 3. All right, so it was about the same with the throttle, but I also felt my legs working a lot to get up that hill, so I definitely use a lot of my energy, but that's how you can do it. You use a torque sensor or the throttle. I like the fact that you can use either or. If you just don't want to use any pedals whatsoever, you can still go up to max speed on this bike and not worrying about trying to get more speed out of it because you got a pedal and use the torque sensor. Just go as fast as you want with throttle only. That's awesome. Let's come up this. Oh yeah. All right, riding on the embankment. Woo! All right, it's doing it. It's not crazy comfortable. The seat feels good, but I'm not getting that much of a plus suspension. I have been riding bikes lately. Here's a jump real quick. Woo! I have been riding bikes lately that have been having like Sur-Ron suspension, like electric dirt bike suspension, and this doesn't match up to it, but for being a tall mountain bike, it's really not bad. Woo! Oh man. Oh, whoa. So many bumps back to back. Holy moly. I'm trying to pay attention and focus here. Sometimes it's hard to do everything at once, but I am definitely having to hold on to this bike a lot. I don't feel like I'm gonna wash out or anything. These tires have huge knobbies on them, but I'm definitely getting thrown all over the place. I can definitely feel it in my hands. Having some gloves on this bike, and always wear gloves when you ride. I'm just trying to get a feel of how the grips feel. But gloves would definitely come in handy and take some of that vibration I'm feeling. My butt feels okay. It's my hands that are taking a lot of the abuse. And it's not locked out either. It's still compressing and all that kind of stuff. 60 millimeters of travel. But it's not the most comfortable e-bike. I would say I'd give this like a 6 out of 10 for off-roading, especially if you're hauling ass like I am. Now on to the turning test. I gotta say, the way this bike feels, it doesn't turn very sharply, but it just glides in a turn. I don't know how better else to say that. It's just, you barely move the handlebars and it's like it sticks going straight, but it just kind of goes with your weight. I like that. It feels very stable when going straight. It's not like you make one slight adjustment real quick and it's like wanting to like turn super fast or get super low. This makes you sit upright when you're turning, and I'm having no issues. I actually like that feeling over some of the other e-bikes or scooters that just turn too sharply. I want to make sure I'm stable when going straight, and this is a very stable bike going straight. Now I'm going to try to do this test the best way I can. I'm going to go as fast as I can, I guess. This bike is apparently going over 30 miles an hour. I do feel like I'm going pretty fast, but we're going to hit this test right here. I'm going to let off right now, and we're going to brake right now. Oh man, that braked really good. Those brakes feel like great. We did slide a lot though, and I feel like we were going slightly over 28 miles an hour because this is the line for my e-bikes. If we stop at the line or behind, it's a really good e-bike. But I swear we were doing that test at like 30 miles an hour just because I feel like that speed meter is off and one of my phone is working correctly. Something I haven't looked at yet is how far can I, that's as far as I think I could turn the handlebars, because it's starting to pull out some of these cables right here and it's getting stuck behind the headlight. So I probably wouldn't turn it any farther. This way it goes a little farther, but this way doesn't, because everything kind of starts getting bunched up behind here, and it looks like it already pulled out a cable, so I'm not exactly sure which one that is, but something already came disconnected and I gotta fix that real quick. All right, we're all good and fixed, but yeah, just keep in mind, do not turn the handlebars too wide, because those cables, they all connect underneath to this display and they pop out. The next thing I want to do is let's see how the throttle response is. 1, 2, 3. It's pretty quick, maybe half a second. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, about half a second. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's pretty good, and I like the fact that it feels like it's giving you all the power that the bike has. Like again, it's not a fast e-bike or nothing like that, but it's definitely good for the average person. And this will definitely tackle like all terrain, whatever you need to go over. Like even that big old hole right there in the cement that's all messed up. This thing will definitely go over a lot. Now let me see how the torque sensor feels. Let me go into a lower gear real quick. 1, 2, 3. Okay, not that bad. Let's try this one more time, going a little slower. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's gradual. Let me go up to a higher gear because it also depends on how fast you're going. I don't want my feet to be free spinning. I want to give this thing an honest test. Okay, so here we go, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, that might feel about the same, maybe ever so slightly longer because you do have to move your feet to get that rotation. So 1, 2, 3. No, it's about the same. It's about half a second. So whichever one you want to use, they pretty much activate the same. And woo, I just skipped a bunch of gears at once, and it all got like bunched up together and skipped a bunch right at once, and my feet almost came off the pedals. That was interesting. Now something I noticed too is that if you're using the throttle and pedaling and you want to go back to pedaling, there's a delay. Power cuts off, and it takes like about a good 2 seconds for the power to come back on. So that kind of sucks. And go taxi, because I was already in this thing, so you need to go faster. Go buddy, go. Go buddy, go. Ooh, cherries. Let me see some of the information on this bike by hitting the M button. Now it says I have done 6.4 miles so far, 6.5 now. I've been out here for 34 minutes, and my top speed has been 33.3, which is funny, it says that on here, but the display only shows like 27 or 28. And then down here, average speed 11. And then the trip that I've been on right now, or a trip in total, so the total mileage on the bike is 7.3. All right, so that's some pretty cool information, but I don't like that it doesn't show you your mile per hour. So you have to hit this again and go back and show that. See how it is going up curbs. No problem whatsoever. Monster truck tires right here, baby. You want to sit high off the ground, you're really gonna like this thing, especially if you got to go off-road a lot. But don't buy this if you got a lot of off-road trails that have big old inclines, and I just got hit in the face with a bee. Holy moly. All right, let me close my visor again. And let me clean off the GoPro because it hit somewhere somewhere on my helmet. All right, so we should be back in business, and we have lost another battery bar. So we're down to 3 battery bars. One thing that I'm not very much liking on this bike is the fact that there is no voltage reading, and the battery bars don't really tell me much. I mean, yeah, they kind of tell something, but I also wish I knew exactly where I was at. Because 3 battery bars doesn't tell me if I'm in the middle, maybe 60%, 70%. I have no idea. You want to know the best thing about this bike that I haven't even mentioned yet? Is that the bike is only 1,500 bucks. Like, that's on sale right now as of making this video. I can't say that it's going to stay the same forever. But $1,500 right now for a big bike like this with a torque sensor and big fat 26-inch tires with a cool, unique display and button layout. I love it. Horn, not that loud, but I love the 9-speed. I love the fact that if you just want to use the throttle only because you're lazy and don't want to pedal, you can do that. Or you can actually pedal and get a workout in and use it as a real electric bike. I love that. And $1,500 to me is not that bad for a bike like this. It really isn't. Especially if you're hitting 33 miles an hour. That's insane. Now the bike doesn't come that fast. You do have to unlock it. But once you unlock it, you're good to go. You might have to contact the company and ask them how to unlock it. I really can't give a lot of that information out because sometimes they like you to sign those release forms. But yeah, this is a great bike. I think I'll see you guys at the house, and I'll give you guys my final report on how many miles we went to our battery bars, which I assume we're probably gonna go down one more because I've been in turbo mode, or turbo plus mode, the whole entire time. But let me see you at the house. I'll give you my final thoughts and see if it's worth it. Oh, there we go. I haven't even got back to the house, and we are down to 2 battery bars, and now they show orange. So I wonder if that last one shows red or not. I'll be doing a separate video again on this bike, so subscribe if you want to see that, but I still haven't made it to the house, so give me a sec. All right, so final conclusion on this bike, what you guys have been waiting for, if it's worth buying. And I feel like if they keep the price at 1,500 bucks, this is not a bad bike. But the reason why this bike is so cheap, and we all know it, it's because it's not 52 volt like most bikes are coming out with. And the battery down here is only 14.5 amp hours. Most bikes in 2023 started shipping out with at least 18 or 20 amp hour batteries, and now we're going up in voltage and they're either staying at 20 amp hours or they're now going to 25 or 30. So this is a small battery for this bike if you plan on using it with throttle only. But if you are someone that does occasionally want to use the pedals or switch over to throttle only just to get out of sticky situations, or you're just tired or something like that, then this is a good bike for you because you're going to get a lot more range out of it, especially if you get the 3 battery setup. But then that pushes this bike over like $2,200 or $2,100. So take that with a grain of salt. It's also going to put a lot of weight on the back as well because they sit right back here, and I'll put that picture up on the screen so you can see it. But yeah, it's a cool bike. I think it's cool because it has a different type of look to it. It's a really big bike, especially with a torque sensor. I love how the display is just different. It's minimal, but it looks like modern, and the grips felt great. The brakes felt great. It feels nice and plush on the road. Off-road, not that great, I gotta be honest, but the headlight we'll test out another video, so I don't want to give my thoughts on that yet, but I like the fact that it does come with a headlight and a working brake light, even though the brake light was kind of dim. Even when you hit the brakes, I just didn't like that fact it didn't get super bright. So hopefully people will be able to see you. The motor has a little bit of noise to it, not that bad. The tires have a little bit of noise to them because they're the knobby type, but it's a cool bike overall. I'm gonna let you guys decide if you like it or not because I'm personally into moped style e-bikes, but if you are into a big bike like this, I don't see what's wrong with spending 1,500 bucks on this. And the nice wood on the back is kind of nice too. So I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys are the true MVPs. Also, Fiido is a good brand to buy stuff with. They are a big company. They have a lot of other stuff. So if you're not interested in this bike, I'll have discount codes and everything. Should work for all their other bikes. So go check them out. Oh, hold on real quick. Before we end the video, I forgot. I have to show you the mileage. So on here, it says I did 7.85 miles. I was down to 2 battery bars, and now that the bike has been sitting here for a little bit, I'm back up to 3. But I'm gonna say we got down to 2 battery bars. So again, this isn't the best bike if you just wanna use throttle only. This is really a good bike if you wanna pedal, use that torque sensor. You'll get a lot more range. 80 something miles of range, I don't know, but test it out. Let me know. Buy one and contact me if you do get over 80 miles of range. I'm curious to see if you do that. So, all right, now I'm out.